In this video, we are going to go over equations, and also we are going to learn how to come up with the line of symmetry in finding the coordinates of the turning point, and also just in finding the y-intercept and the x-intercepts. Now, the first question which I'm having is saying, solve the following equations. So when they have asked you to solve an equation, which simply means that they just want you to find the value of x. So when you have something like this, we just want to make x as the subject there. So which simply means that you're going to have over 2 to both sides. So 2 into 2 is 1, so x squared will be equal to 9. Now the opposite of squared, because we just want to remain with x, so you say you introduce the square root. Now when you introduce the square root to the other side, is supposed to be positive or negative. That's the rule. So you say you divide that, you cancel, x will be equal to positive or negative. Now the root of 9, that is a 3. Therefore our x is equals to positive 3, or our x is equals to negative 3. That is our answer. For part B, there are two methods that you can use. So we are going to use the first method, which is 2x minus 1, and then we have squared there. This will be equal to 9. Now the first method, which is the shortcut one, we can just say we can introduce the square root to both sides. Now when you introduce the square root here, it's positive or negative. So when we cancel that, we are going to remain with 2x minus 1 is equals to positive or negative. Now the root of 9, that is a 3. Now when you reach at this point, you are having 2x minus 1 equal to positive 3, and you are having 2x minus 1 equal to negative 3. So what you do, you're just going to say, by making x the subject of the formula, we are going to add positive 1 to both sides. So when you say positive 1, also positive 1, which simply means that it will be negative 1 plus 1, that is 0. So we are going to have 2x equal to 3 plus 1, that is a 4. So you say over a 2 over a 2, you divide, you're going to have x will be equal to 2 into 4, that is a 2. And then here you also do the same by adding positive 1. So when you add positive 1, also here positive 1, you're going to say 2x minus 1 plus 1, that is a 0, equal to negative 3 plus 1, that is negative 2. And then you say over 2 over 2, therefore you're going to have x equal to negative 1. That is our answer. Now for the other method, what you can do, you just say you have 2x minus 1 squared equal to 9. So what you do, you understand that 2x minus 1 is multiplying itself 2 times, which simply means that you are having 2x minus 1 and 2x minus 1 equal to 9. But we understand that 2x is going to multiply with 2x minus 1. Also negative 1 is going to multiply with 2x minus 1, like that, equal to 9. So 2x times 2x, that is 4x squared. 2x times negative 1, that will be negative 2x. Negative 1 multiplied by 2x, that is negative 2x. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 1, that is positive 1, equal to 9. Now when you reach at this point, you group the right terms. 4x squared is alone, 2x minus 2x, negative 2x, they are right terms, so they can add or subtract. So which simply means that here you're going to have negative 4x plus a 1 equal to 9. Now when we subtract negative 9 to both sides, here as well we are going to have 4x squared minus 4x. Now 1 minus 9, that will be negative 8. 9 minus 9, that will be a 0. So when you reach at that point, what you say, we are having 4x squared minus 4x minus 8 equal to 0. Now, as you can see, we can simplify this because 4 can divide there, also can divide there, also there, also there. So when you have this, which simply means that 4 into 4 just a 1, so to be x squared minus x minus 4 into 8, negative 8, that is negative 2, that it will be equal to 4 into 0, that is a 0. But when you reach at this point, we're having something which is similar to uh, f of x, that is a quadratic equation plus a c. Or we can just say ax squared plus bx plus a c is equals to 0. So it's one and the same. So what you do, you say, we can use the formula method or factorization method. So in my case, I'm going to use factorization method in this video. So we're going to say our product, it is 1 multiplied by negative 2, it will be negative 2, and then our sum, it is just negative 1. So we look for the numbers which when we multiply, it's going to give us negative 2, but when we add or subtract, they are supposed to give us negative 1. What are those numbers? It's just 2 and 1. Now where are we going to put the negative? The negative, it will be there. So negative 2 times 1, it will be negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1, it will be negative 1. So when we have this, we replace with that. So we say x squared, you put positive x there because 1 it will be positive x, but negative 2 to be negative 2x minus 2 equal to 0. When you reach at this point, you group these and then you factorize. Like that. So you say which one is common? X into x into x squared, it is x into x, it is positive 1. Here it is negative 2, which is common. So negative 2 into negative 2x, just x. Negative 2 into negative 2, that is positive 1, equal to 0. And then you have x minus 2 by grouping these because these are the same. So we are grouping that x and negative 2. So when you reach at this point, you say x plus a 1, you just pick one from those, equal to 0. Therefore x minus 2 is equals to 0 and x, or x plus 1 is equals to 0. Now when you reach at that point, you say you add here, we are going to add the opposite of negative 2. We are going to add the opposite of negative 2, which is positive 2, I mean. So we are just going to say plus 2. Here we are going to subtract negative 1. So when we add, we also add here, we also subtract there. So which simply means that x will be equal to, because negative 2 plus 2, it is 0. 0 plus 2, it will be just 2. And then here we are having x plus 1 minus 1, it is 0. And then x will be equal to, now 0 minus 1, it will be minus 1. Or we can just say, when we have something like this is equals to 0 and x plus 1 is equals to 0, we can just say negative 2 comes to the other side, it will be positive 2. X comes to 1, positive 1 comes to the other side, to be negative 1. So it's just one and the same. Now for part C, you can pause the video and then you try it as well. So for part C, you have x minus 2 and then you have x plus a 3. This will be equal to 0. So remember, x will multiply with x plus 3. Also negative 2 will multiply with x plus 3, like that. This will be equal to 0. X times x, it will be x squared. X times positive 3, it will be positive 3x. Negative 2 multiplied by x to be negative 2x. Negative 2 multiplied by positive 3 to be negative 6. This will be equal to 0. So you group the right terms. X squared is alone, positive 3x minus 2x, they can add or subtract. Therefore 3x minus 2x, that is positive x minus a 6, this will be equal to 0. When you reach at this point, product, sum and factor, because this is a quadratic equation. So what you do, you say the product here, it's just a 1 and you have a negative 6 there. So what you do, you just say 1 multiplied by negative 6 to be negative 6. There you just get that is positive 1. The coefficient of x there, it is 1. So you say 1 there, and then you look for the numbers which when you multiply they are supposed to give you negative 6, but when you add or subtract they are supposed to give you 1. So what are those numbers? Those numbers are 3 and a 2. Now which one are we going to put a negative? To be a 2, so to be negative 2. 3 multiplied by negative 2 to be negative 6. 3 minus 2, it will be a 1. So you replace these numbers with positive x. So it simply means that x squared, you are going to have positive 3x and then negative 2x negative 6 equal to 0. When you reach at this point, you group this and then you factorize, which simply means that you look for what is common there, which is x. X into x squared, it is x into positive 3x, that is positive 3. The number which can enter into negative 2x and negative 6, it is negative 2 itself. Negative 2 into negative 2x, that is x. Negative 2 into negative 6, that is positive 3, like that, equal to 0. So x minus 2 equal to 0 and x plus 3 equal to 0. So you just get this and then you equate them to 0. So you just get one of that, which is this one, and then you combine x minus 2 and then you equate them to 0 each one. And when you reach at this point, you understand that when you reach at that point, this will be x minus 2 equal to 0 or x plus 3 equal to 0. So what you do, you add here, you add positive 2, even there positive 2. Here you also add you subtract negative 3, you subtract positive 3 by introducing negative 3. Also here you're going to see negative 3. So what we are going to have, we are going to have negative 2 plus 2, that is 0. So x will be equal to 0 plus 2, that is a 2. Here positive 3 minus 3, it is 0, equal to 0 minus 3, it is negative 3. So that is our answer. So that is all there. Or we can just say, x minus 2 equal to 0, x plus 3 equal to 0. When negative 2 comes to the other side, to be positive 2. When 3 comes to the other side, to be negative 3. So that is one and the same. Now you can pause the video and then you try part D. So our part D is saying we are having x squared equal to 3x. So what you do, you do not divide x and x. Our goal is not to cancel x, but to make it the subject of the formula. So what you do, you say you add we want to make sure that they come to they are like terms, in short. So what you do, you say x squared minus 3x equal to 0. As you can see, we have x there, also x there. So what you do, you can factorize this by having x open bracket, x into x, that is x into x squared, that is x into negative 3, x, that is negative 3, equal to 0. Now x is equals to 0, also x minus 3 is equals to 0, like that. So x is equals to 0 or x minus 3 is equals to 0. So for x equal to 0 we have found. Now here you just say x equal to positive 3 when it comes to the other side when you use elimination method like that, and that is our answer. uh, for the next question, it is saying 2 open bracket x minus 2 cross bracket squared is equals to 18. We can pause the video and then you also try it. Now in order for you to access full solutions, feel free to join our WhatsApp group through the link in the description, or you can contact this number for online tuitions, which is 0972 39 7110.